everyone, and welcome to Keeping It Real with Steph and Kev. I'm Steph.
And I'm Kev, and we're keeping it real. This is show number 4.
And it's about boxes. Kev, aren't you interested in this?
Steph, you have no idea. I am so excited for today's show about boxes, not just because of their three-dimensional shape and because of the fact that they're boxes, but more along the lines of what we're going to be talking about the boxes in our lives.
All right. And so today we're going to be talking about the importance of being aware of when we're in the box, and being aware of why we need to get out of the box, and most importantly, learning how we can ultimately get out of the boxes that are in our lives.
Definitely. And before we get into that, though, I'd just like to briefly summarize the premise of our show, which is around the story of a man who set off to change the world. But he realized that the world would not change. So he went to change only his country. But that, too, seemed immovable. So then he goes to try to change his family. And they're like, no, I'm not going to change either. So then finally on his deathbed, perhaps for the first time, he realizes that had he have only changed himself first, then by example, he might have bettered his family and bettered his country. And who knows? Might have changed the world.
That's right. And you know, what we want to say today is that it's more than our actions. It's more than just going out there and saying, we want to change the world. Right. We want to do this. We want to do that. More importantly, it is the intent behind these actions. It is our consciousness, our mindfulness, our awareness of our attitudes, our beliefs, and what we need to really feel within ourselves to go on and make that action, to make that change.
Right, and I think it's even like, getting past our preconceived assumptions, as we talked about in previous shows as well, but to view others as equal, as human beings before anything else, because we're really not all that different when it comes down to it,
Right, exactly. So on today's show, we're going to be talking about boxes, and we read this book called Leadership and Self-Deception by the Arbinger Institute. It's a great book. Pick it up if you haven't already. We have 2 guests later on the show who have also read this book. And basically, what this book tells us is that we can be in the box, so to speak, towards a person, or towards characteristics of a person, or towards characteristics of people in general.
And their actions,
Right, and one example of this is, let's say, we're impatient with the person who's stuck at the red light, the light turns green, they don't move for 5 seconds. We're impatient. We are impatient at the person who's holding us up at the cash register.
I've been there.
That's
many times.
And, impatience is not just the only way we can be in the box. And boxes are indeed our own interpretations of other people's actions. Why was that person not moving at that green light? Well, we have no idea what they were doing, We have no idea. They're equal. We have no right to judge them. Yes, they stalled us. They stalled us for 5 seconds.
Exactly.
So what?
It's like we're just on this constant race to get somewhere, and for what? I mean, you can take a couple more seconds to just kind of put yourself in that person's shoes, and who knows what was going on in their life for that particular day.
Right. So this book actually explains how we get into these boxes.
Right.
And we really get into these boxes through self-deception.
And what do you mean by that stuff?
All right, I was just going to see if you knew what I was talking about. So basically, we deceive ourselves into thinking that we don't need to hold the door open for the person who's coming in behind us. We don't need to be patient at that green light because the person in front of us should have gone. We don't need to hold our horses when someone can't find change when they're at the cash register. It's up to that person to do the right thing. It's up to that person to hold their own door,
You're right on.
So when we deceive ourselves, ultimately we are putting ourselves into these boxes.
And I believe one of 4 boxes, correct?
Yes. Okay. Well, now we have 4 boxes that are explained in the book and that we've been talking about, but there are actually probably a lot more than 4 boxes. But let's get into these 4 boxes
on
right
these
now.
4, right.
All right. So we've got these 4 boxes here. Okay. So let's lay them all out, should we?
All right.
Lay them all out.
They're very pretty, too.
Oh, they are pretty, aren't they? Looks can deceive. They're not pretty. So the first box we want to talk about is the better than box. Now, this box, if we are inside of it, we feel impatient, we feel indifferent. We view other people as inferior, as wrong, as less than us, because, gosh darn it, we're better than them.
Right? Oh, yeah. I mean, I felt like that quite a few times.
Yeah, and we all have examples of this, and it's important just for us to realize and let this all sink in, all right?
Definitely.
So let's move on to the second box.
Okay, so we're going on to the I deserve box.
That's right.
Basically, where you're feeling that you deserve, that you feel like the world owes you something, pretty much.
Right.
And so
you feel like you're entitled to something.
Exactly.
And you feel like the world, if you don't get this, you feel like you're unjust. And you feel like the world is unjust, and you feel like the world is unfair.
Unappreciative.
Right.
Exactly.
Because you deserve something. Now, let's go on to the third box.
Number 3. Talk to me,
The
Steph.
must be seen as box. This box is very common, especially, we're going through that stage trying to figure out who we are. We want others to see us as the best we are, as put together, as knowing what we're doing, as, just really, we actually are fake when we're trying to be seen as something that we are not. When we're not keeping it real, we are trying to be seen as something that we are not. And this leads to feelings of anxiety. This makes us stressed out because we constantly feel like we need to uphold this image of ourselves in this must be seen as box.
But you have had experience with that type of feeling before.
Yes, I've actually, at times, whether you're meeting someone for the first time or you're, going to professor's office hours, you want to act like you have everything together all the time.
For that first impression, right?
Right, the first impression. And yes, first impressions are important, but you should make those impressions real.
Exactly.
You should not try to be someone who you're not.
No, yeah, you're totally right. And I think then, like the fourth box that we have here, I'll turn it around for you. It is the worse than box. And this is where your view of yourself is that like you're not good, and you have these feelings of just helplessness and almost depression. And your view of others is that they are advantaged, that like you are worse than them. That they're like the whole world is just a difficult world and a better world than yourself.
And you've actually had experience in this particular box.
Exactly. I mean, multiple times, just like especially like at U of M, where I've just been, I guess feeling that if someone does better on an exam or something like that, or if someone gets a higher paying internship or job, that I'm just like, I feel that I'm worse than this person, when in reality we all have our own unique talents and abilities that we need to focus on.
Right. And so when we're in these boxes, the big question is, how do we get out? How do we get out of these boxes? And, the first thing that came to my mind, that came to a lot of people's minds, is that, well, we just need to change our attitudes. We need to change our beliefs. We need to change what's inside of us.
Need to change.
And then we can go on and get out of these boxes.
And then be able
but
to,
you know what? You know what, Kev? That's not
how
you get out of the box.
How do we get out of the box, Steph?
Well, we're going to talk about how we get out of the box coming up after the break.
I'm excited.
And also, we'll have 2 guests who have studied this concept of boxes. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Yes. Hello? Hi. What does the G-spot even stand for?
Is it true that if you don't use it, you lose it?
Yeah. Hello? About poking. Do I poke before I message, or do I message before I poke?
Houston, we have a problem.
What?
I missed Grey's Anatomy last week, and now I'm going to be so behind.
Still missing the problem here.
What do you mean? We're talking about Grey's here, the most watched television show.
Okay, well, I get that, but what I don't get is why you don't just watch The Entertainment Buzz on Wolf TV. They have recaps of all of today's most popular television shows, plus you can get previews of upcoming movies and find out what's hot in Hollywood. I mean, there's no reason not to watch.
That show's the coolest. They interviewed The Rock on that show.
That's awesome.
I'm gonna go catch a spit. Man, guys, I wonder who this week's short shot's gonna be.
We're gonna go watch The Entertainment Buzz right now!
I'm with them. Gotta go catch Grey's.
I guess everyone's going to catch The Entertainment Buzz, only on Wolf TV.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Keeping It Real with Steph and Kev. I'm Steph.
And I'm Kev. We're keeping it real.
We're talking about boxes. So we want to talk about how we can get out of these boxes. And really, you would think that we could get out of the boxes by changing our beliefs, changing our attitudes, changing our actions. But really, how can we get out of the box ourselves if our mentality is so much in the box? Do you get it?
I do. I mean, I think we have to definitely try to like break away from that, from that thought process and
right.
get
And
past
the only way that we can actually do this is by having someone come up to us and give us the opportunity to get out of the box towards other people.
Someone has to kind of push you.
Right.
And you know, to just get you out of that.
Right.
Like that whole mindset, basically. Right.
So if someone's coming behind us, and you know the door situation, once we hold that door open the extra couple of seconds for the person behind us, we've gotten out of that box. Get it?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So today we have two guests. We have Andrina and Brandon. Thank you very much
Welcome
for being
to the show.
Hi, thanks
Welcome to Keeping It Real.
They've actually read Leadership and Self-Deception.
Getting out of the box.
That's right. So what did you both think about this book?
Well, I personally thought it was very interesting. It definitely gave me a different perspective in life, just like you were saying before.
Right.
It's just very eye-opening and just kind of looking at life in a different way.
Right. Okay.
That's great.
And Brandon, did you feel like my 4 boxes were accurate? Or?
Yeah, I definitely think that was a nice summary of everything.
Okay.
It went through the book and what the author talked about, and it was great just to sum it up.
All right. So, do you all have a specific example of boxes in your lives, or you know, what did this book spark in your head?
Well, I feel like we're constantly in boxes just because of the way society has kind of like pushed us to be very competitive with each other, and that's like a big box to be in. Like competition, it's like with each other. We don't actually look at each other as just human beings. Sometimes just as an object to like just used to get to places where we want to go. So
yeah, and I think there's different boxes for different aspects of your life. Like I think you can have boxes towards friends, towards family members, towards different things like that.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Okay. So do you have any specific example of maybe when you were in the
Because
box?
I mean, when you get pushed in these boxes, I mean, it can hurt. You know, it can hurt. I mean, these boxes are small. You know? So,
personally, for me, I remember one instance where I was driving down the highway and it was pretty congested, and there's someone going really, really slow in front of me, and that kind of gets me agitated quicker than it should. But and then I remember passing that person and looking over, only it was my neighbor. So I was like, so it kind of gives you a different perspective when you know the person. So now when I'm driving, I try to think like, pretend that this is someone I know. How would I react to them? How would I? Yeah.
Right. It really makes it more real when you actually, you know the person who's holding you up,
it really hits home, definitely.
putting you out of your way.
Exactly.
But really, like we were saying before, everyone's equal. Everyone, who knows what situation they could be in. So
I guess, like, is that your advice, I guess, in terms of getting others out of the box and yourself, is to, like, see people as human beings?
Not as the object?
Yeah.
well, it's difficult because at times you just can't help yourself because you've just been raised that way. Everybody's been made you to, like, think in that session. So it's just very hard to, like, get out of the box. And it's actually even harder to realize that you're in the box to begin with. So as long as you understand you're in the box, it's the first step.
Right, so this book has kind of like made us more open.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and you definitely have to put others before yourself. I think that's one of the main things.
Because if you don't, then you go into self-deception.
Then you're in the box.
Yeah, then you're in the box.
The box. That's no good.
All right, so what is your advice to others on how to get out of the box?
More than what we even talked about now, because you were talking about that we need to have that initial recognition where you might have to even tell one of your friends or your family members that, like, that they're in this box or that they're, like, thinking this way.
But actually, Kev, we cannot tell others that they're in the box, right?
Because that puts you in the box.
Yeah, that was in part of the book.
Okay.
Maybe skim that part. I don't know.
Skim that part. I'll have to reread that.
Do you want to tell us about, we can't blame others for being in the box, because if we blame others, we're in the box.
Okay, that makes sense.
Exactly.
So, do you want to elaborate on that a little bit?
Well, it's basically if you're walking in your living room and you hit yourself in the near chair and you're like, darn chair, it's like in front of me. It's not the chair's fault, you should be more careful in the way that we look at it. So it's just like simple examples that I just have to keep an open mind in things and kind of look through it.
It's all about perspective.
Right. No, because I remember like sometimes you like hit your toe like coming out of bed when you wake up in the morning, and like then you just had this mentality like the whole day shot, and like. But if you just kind of like break past and be like, like that's not going to affect my day or my life, then you can just go on and live a great day.
Do you have any advice for our viewers out there who may have not read this book, who may not want to pick up a copy of this book and read through the whatever 150 pages? It'll take you about 2 hours. But if you don't want to pick up the book, do you have any advice on
couple key points.
I think the main thing is just try to do like the little things at first. Just try to do those little favors for people. Start putting other people before yourself, and eventually, when you start living your life that way, it catches on and it changes your life. So.
And it's rewarding for yourself too, because you don't feel bad about anything.
That's great.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much for being
with
us.
Appreciate it. Thanks so much.
And up next, we have a box breaker. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
I could hear Tim go, oh.
There's no doubt I'm buzzing. Are you buzzing?
Oh, I put the B in buzzing. Hey, you buzzing?
I'm bringing buzzing back.
Yeah. Hey, are you buzzing? Oh, for sure I'm buzzing. Break it down. Oh, I'm ready for it. Come on, buzz me.
Man, why is everyone so buzzed?
Duh, it's because they're watching the Entertainment Buzz on Wolf TV, the only place for all of today's hottest Hollywood news, movie reviews, and recaps of all your popular television shows. It's got everyone buzzing.
Wow, now I'm buzzed.
So get buzzed!
It's gonna be a good show tonight, Jesse.
Better than Tuesday newsfeed, at least.
You know we're right here, right?
Yeah, guys, what's your problem? Hey guys, no offense. All I'm saying is we're better at reading the news than you.
What? We're better than you. Heck yeah, we'd totally take you in a talk-off.
Fine, it's a talk-off.
Cheer to sell seashells down by the seashore to swimmers that shout shameful sayings to sharks that shout shameful sayings back.
Peter Piper picked a peck of Did Peter Piper pick a peck of pickle peppers? If Peter Oh no, go to weather, now!
They're sending out their weather? No, go to weather. We're going to weather.
What are you doing here?
I'm trying to do weather.
I'm doing weather tonight.
No,
I'm sorry.
They put the best people on weather for tonight.
Oh, are you kidding?
Cut. Hey, it's my night. I say cut.
Did you just see that? Obviously, our night Wednesday is a lot better, right?
Of course. Be sure to turn in Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday night for all your campus, local, and international news.
See you then.
Okay. Welcome back to Keeping It Real with Steph and Kev. I'm Steph.
And I'm Kev, and we're keeping it real.
We've got some boxes.
We're talking about boxes today. And with us, we have a box breaker herself.
That's right.
Her name is Alyssa, and she is the founder of a multicultural sorority.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Thanks for being
Alyssa,
here,
thank you for coming on Keeping It Real. Appreciate that.
All right, so basically you didn't know about this box concept, but you started this multicultural sorority, which we want to hear about how you started that.
And why you started the sorority.
Exactly, yeah.
Well, basically, in the beginning, it was more of a, when we came to the University of Michigan, especially as a freshman, diversity is definitely advocated.
Right.
You hear it all the time, left and right.
Oh, yeah.
But when you actually get here, it's more of a segregated thing. There are groups, there's so many people here of different cultures and different races and different lifestyles, but they're segregated. And we saw this, and we definitely knew that there needed to be a change, and that's how Theta Nu Xi Multicultural Sorority came about.
Wow.
Yes.
That's great.
Great. Wow. So you were breaking down boxes and you didn't even know.
Didn't even know it.
Knowing this box,
How about that?
knowing this box concept, can you apply that at all to your experience?
Oh yes. Oh, definitely.
All right.
Especially we see the most of as the must be seen as box.
Okay.
Especially within, outside of the Greek community as well.
Okay.
You're expected to look a certain way.
Right.
If you come from a specific culture, you're expected to act a certain way.
There's a
and all these different
sorority. Then there's a stereotypical, whatever other type of race or
sorority, for everything. So I think it's a beautiful thing, especially for what we do and what we bring to the campus, that we allow young women to exit the box that they've been in their entire life
Right.
and really break it down.
Right.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Right, and I think, like, you know, diversity has never been the issue, but connection has been.
Oh, yes.
You know, and
Connection
so,
to diversity.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
And the opportunity, I think that's just some great work that you're doing on campus. So, I guess, have you seen the effects, like, on yourself or with your friends, or like, how's this like, kind of like impacted in your life?
Oh, it's amazing.
Okay.
It's amazing. Every
It sounds like
every
it. I mean,
day.
right.
You know, you see yourself growing because, I mean, you must admit, the more you know others, the more you know yourself, in a sense, because you have something to kind of reflect upon.
Right.
So when you finally exit this box or these boxes that you've been in your entire life, you're able to grow, you know, as an individual and really, you know, kind of extend out there, and you see the people that you would at one point in time see and kind of, you know, judge based upon their appearance or the groups that they're in. You really actually step back and you kind of take a moment to see who they really are and really you really find out more.
That's awesome.
That's real.
That's what the breaking down the boxes is all about.
That's really great.
Wow.
I mean, like, Steph and I, too, I mean, we've really tried to embrace diversity, and as a result of that, we have grown from that.
Right,
you know?
right,
And it's just a great thing to have in your life, you know, and to get past those barriers that are separating us. And
Right.
Wow.
Well, thank you so much
Thanks for coming on the
being
show,
Alyssa.
and good luck with everything that you have going with the sorority.
Yeah,
and
great job.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
So,
And up next, we have a person who's breaking down boxes every day. He's
breaking
here
them
to talk to
down,
us about
downtown.
it. Stay tuned.
All right, stay tuned.
Rock here. You are watching Wolf TV.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Keeping It Real with Steph and Kev. I'm Steph.
And I'm Kev. We're keeping it real, as always.
We're back with another guest to talk to us about boxes.
Breaking them down. With us today, we have Sohail, and he is a campus leader. And he has been breaking down the boxes.
Thanks for being with us.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Thanks
for having me.
I appreciate it. Really do.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
So, what are you doing to, like, in your life on a day-to-day basis to break down the boxes?
Well, I think being here of another color is by itself, you know, a challenge.
Mm-hmm.
I'm from another country. First off, I moved here only like about 6 years ago.
Okay.
Oh,
and
wow.
you know, just adjusting to life here, being able to understand people of different backgrounds, you know, it's been a big challenge. And
It's
I
a
think
big culture shock.
that's one thing. That's in one way, you know, I have to be very open-minded and understand people, you know, and be more patient. And you know,
Right.
So it's a different ball game for me.
Yeah, so you were kind of forced to be out of the box like almost all the time.
Exactly,
To have that
exactly.
open-mindedness. All right. So that was like really, that was his intent, basically.
Exactly, and the thing is, too, I was talking with you before the show today, and you were
Right.
just saying that you kind of had to really try to change yourself first and be
Right.
yourself around other people. So I guess how has that kind of played into try to break down those boxes in your life and other people's lives?
Right. Well, it's a unique thing because you want to try to understand what other people are coming from, where they're coming
Right.
from, but at the same time, you want to be yourself when you're doing that.
Right.
So it's you know, it's been a challenge, and it's taken a while to get used to. But you know, I'm in my senior year here, and I'm having a great time, and you know, I've met so many wonderful people at this university that, you know, it's broadened my perspective, and
that's great,
you know, helped me grow as a person. So
right, as a human being, for sure.
So, what do you think about our boxes concept?
I think it's great. You know,
Okay.
to all the freshmen who are watching this at the dorm, you know,
Right.
I definitely encourage you to go out there and meet people, as many people as you can. This is a great university, and
then yourself, yeah.
I mean, you can meet so many different people, great people with different ideas, and it just helps you grow as a person.
Right. All right, now, Sohail, I got a question for you.
So okay.
Oh boy.
So, let's say someone sitting there is saying, you know, why should I go embrace diversity? Why should I go try to be friends with someone of a different background, a different color, a different culture, when I associate myself more with people who are similar to me?
Right.
I mean, you know, people do not see the value in going out and diversifying their group of friends or their, you know, clubs and organizations.
Right.
What do we say to those people? Why should they?
Yeah.
Right. Well, I think for one, it's natural to feel that way because you're in a comfort zone when, you know, say you come in as a freshman and you're with your group of friends from high school or your close friends from back home.
Okay.
But at the same time, by diversifying yourself, you really help yourself grow. You know, politically, and, you know, different views on religion. You meet so many different people out here, races, ethnicities. You know, it just really helps you understand why people think in different ways.
Right.
And makes you grow, which is what you need in life. Because when you go out there after graduating to the real world, you're going to, you know, mix and meet with people of different backgrounds.
That's true.
And,
That's true.
you know, if you are just stuck in your box where you only understand one background, it's going to be really difficult when you go out to the real world to intermingle and mix with people of different cultures and backgrounds.
Okay.
Right, definitely.
Wow, that's great. So basically, we're saying that if we change ourselves first, if we break down these, you know what? Let's break down these boxes right now. Should we? Can we have some help breaking down these boxes?
Yeah, you know what?
Let's
I
just
think it's about time that we make that change and decide to you know, break down a couple of these three-dimensional figures here.
These boxes that represent.
We don't want to get hurt. We just want to keep it real here.
Representing our
breaking down-
interpretations of other people.
Okay, so
Yeah, you can help me break this.
if you don't mind, Alyssa, that would just be great. Okay.
All right.
There we go.
All right, let's break these things.
Okay.
Oh, worse than box? I don't think so.
No, we're not doing any
Not
more
anymore.
of these boxes.
Must be no more boxes anymore. No more boxes.
And you know,
no more boxes.
I'm gonna box out. I'm gonna box out. All right.
All right, we're gonna box out. And
Okay.
please email us when you get a chance. Our email address is
wolv.keepingitreal@umich.edu. I got that right this week.
That's right.
And you can also go to wolv.umich.edu to check our website.
Get a link to our website. And again, try to break down those boxes.
Break
We
them down.
we really do not want to be in these boxes. So, and again, the only way that we can get out of these boxes, like we were all saying here today, is to have someone, you know, push us a little bit. To have someone say, hey, hold that door for me. Hey, you know, box out. You know,
Right, exactly.
what are you doing here?
Right.
Okay? So
Right.
we really need to pay attention to that, and we need to be conscious. We need to be mindful. We need to have that attitude within ourselves so that we can then go on and perform the actions of being out of the box. And I actually think our website is www.wolv.umich.org.
Oh,
is that correct?
Okay, we're
No,
close. We're
wolf,
close.
just wolv.org, actually.
Wolv.org. But I mean, I think more than anything too, it's just to see all of us here as brothers and sisters,
That's right.
as like one family. You know, to see past that. This is the United States, not the divided
Not the
states.
divided states,
All right,
that's right.
as we talk about, right? So let's just keep it real.
Keep it real.
She's Steph.
I'm Steph.
And I'm Kev.
We're keeping it real.
with everyone here today and with you out there. So tune in next week. It's going to be another great show.
That's right.
Just keep it real. Be the
That's
change.
right. Thanks so much for joining us today, and we'll see you back here next week.
All right, stay tuned.